As many people know, when a prisoner is on death row, it is very normal to have them have an option to choose their final meal, one meal they can eat before they die. I keep finding myself wondering, how do they actually work? So first we should start off with, what is a final meal? The final meal is the meal given to the prisoner when he is about to be executed, typically given a day or two before. What I thought before researching this was it was like right before the execution. However, it is a day before, a day or two before. Last meals, and though this is actually kind of a rumor, can actually be denied. I've heard people say that they can't be denied. However, in the United States, they actually can be denied and or rejected if they are thought to be too outlandish and way over the top. That being said, each state has their own limitations and regulations when it comes to this. There is no one set guideline for the final meal, so we're going to talk about a couple of those really quick. For example, in Florida, the maximum amount of money you are able to spend on your final meal cannot exceed $40. If it exceeds $40, it will be rejected. In Oklahoma, which is even stricter, the limit is actually only $25. So if it goes over $25, it will most likely be rejected. There is one tradition that I actually find pretty fascinating. In the state of Louisiana, when a prisoner is going to be executed and he wants his final meal, the prison warden is actually known to share the last meal with the inmate who is going to be executed. That's kind of cool to be able to have them not be alone if they so please for their final meal. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that. But here's actually the step-by-step on how this system works. The prisoner is able to request a meal as long as it follows the guidelines given. Like we talked about before, every prison, every state has their own guidelines. There is no one set rule for all of it. And if it breaks any of the guidelines, their entire meal can be rejected. So the meal is typically made in-house by the prison kitchen staff. However, it can occasionally be sourced from local kitchens and other restaurants if the meal is a specific menu item from a restaurant, or let's say someone wants a Big Mac or something, they'll go to McDonald's and get it for him. But it's pretty normal for the kitchen staff in the prison to make it. So the prisoner typically eats alone, whether it be in their cell or in a monitored room, unless of course you are in Louisiana, in which case you will be eating with the game warden. And there's actually some pretty crazy examples of some final meals, so I have two for you guys on the total different sides of the spectrum. I'm sure you've probably heard about them both if you're anywhat familiar with this topic, but I'm going to go through them anyway in case you are not. So the first one is Victor Fager. He was a prisoner who was given the death sentence for kidnapping and murdering a couple people in 1963, and he asked to have a single olive with the pit remaining. And he ate it, and that was his whole meal. It was one single olive. On the other side of the spectrum completely was Lawrence Russell Brewer, who requested an entire full course meal in the state of Texas. This meal included 2 chicken fried steaks, a triple meat bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelet, 1 pound of barbecue, 3 fajitas, a meat lover's pizza, ice cream, and 3 root beers. And he didn't eat a single bit of it. Not one bit. He got all of the food placed in front of him. He didn't eat it. And that made Texas, change their laws. So now you can no longer have customized final meals in Texas. I can assume he did that to waste their time, to piss them off. And I'm sure it worked because they changed their whole law because of it. So just remember, if you decide you want some bougie final meal, hopefully you're never in that predicament. But don't overthink it because you might just go towards the end hungry. So just order like a Big Mac or something. I don't know.